With so much happening in the world, it's no wonder we're often overwhelmed. This sudden flow of emotions, the worry, the stress, it's a universal human experience, no matter how put together we seem. It wasn't too hard to come up with the idea for this video, because it happens to me as well as to the best of us. But you know what? Sometimes acknowledging the storm is the first step toward finding tranquility. My name is Leah, and my aim today is to share a comprehensive, evidence-backed guide on handling these situations. Let's get started. First, how do you know you're feeling overwhelmed? Here are some of the signs you may notice. You may feel paralyzed and unable to function. This is exactly what I'm feeling when there are too many things to handle. There is so much stuff to do that you don't know what to start with. You're like being frozen. You may find yourself avoiding or postponing stressful tasks, so many things at the same time. It's so difficult and stressful that you intuitively want to follow the path of least resistance. Later in the video, I'll talk about how you can cope with it and maintain a decent level of productivity. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you're enjoying this video. Speaking of symptoms, you may also feel angry, irritable, or anxious. Nobody wants to be in such situations. It may make you feel pissed at other people, at yourself, and if something like your computer doesn't work well, it feels 10 times worse. You might struggle to think rationally. Basically, it may feel like things are out of your control. Not a pleasant experience, to be honest. Most of the time, you want to be in control of what's happening in your life, right? You know, you don't want to be a side character in your own story. So what are the reasons why you may feel overwhelmed? What may trigger it? First and foremost, excessive workload. Basically, it's a recipe for stress overload. You're juggling a dozen tasks, drowning in messages from your friends. You also have bad internet connection. Constant stress from an excessive overload or a tense work atmosphere is enough to make anyone overwhelmed. And it's so tiresome sometimes that you start to feel sluggish and unmotivated. Another reason is trauma. Traumatic experience may be the answer to a question why you're feeling overwhelmed. Whether it's a personal loss, a distressing event, or a painful experience, the aftermath can linger like an unwelcome shadow. Possibility of feeling overwhelmed by a past experience is part of being human. And the last one I want to mention, major life change. Be it starting college, moving to a new city, or a significant transition. These moments of change can be overwhelming. When your life changes drastically, it's difficult to gather yourself right away and keep on working in your usual rhythm. So what are the ways to cope with the feeling of overwhelm and really calm down? Let's start with the easiest to do thing, in my opinion. You don't even have to go anywhere or take anything. I'm talking about deep breathing, a practice as old as time itself, it seems. Breathing is intimately linked with mental functions. According to a review published in 2018, slow breathing is associated with increased comfort, relaxation, and reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, anger, and confusion. Sounds amazing. Also sounds as something we're looking for, right? And again, the best part is how easy this is. Just need to slow down, take a pause, close your eyes, and slowly breathe in and out. Try it out for a couple of seconds. Don't stop the video, simply close your eyes with me, breathe in, take a little pause, and breathe out. You can open your eyes. Of course, in the studies from the upper-mentioned review, the duration of this practice wasn't a couple of seconds. But still, even what we just did made you feel a bit more relaxed, didn't it? You know, when it comes to overload, it isn't always easy to change your context. You may feel like you don't have time for it. It's like, you know, you need to push forward and finally finish what you've already started. But if you notice some of the signs we discussed at the beginning of this video, maybe it means it's time to do something else. Let's move to the next tip. I like this one as well, nature exposure. This is something more challenging, getting outside. An important thing that I must note, nature-based interventions aren't confined to grand adventures. Sometimes it's about pausing to notice the beauty around, a blooming flower, a chirping bird. If you don't have the convenience of having a park nearby, try to find playing fields, children's play areas, water, or other natural places. When it comes to the duration of this intervention, I think it's reasonable to start small. But 5 minutes won't hurt, right? So my piece of advice is not to set the plank too high. Experiment a little and find out what works better for you. Otherwise, you may end up rejecting this idea altogether. Okay, let's shift to our next topic. Around 40% of workers report their work as weary or extremely stressful. It's a common activity that can make you feel quite overwhelmed. I think talking about something proactive is important as well. My advice: focus on proper prioritization and delegating tasks. Prioritization is about deciphering the urgent from the important, sorting tasks by their impact, and crafting an actionable roadmap. Our routines often envelop us like a comforting blanket, And the line between what's essential and what's merely extra fluff may become slightly blurred. It's about discerning what truly matters, acting on what's vital, and setting aside the rest for later. By doing this, you're not saying you're never gonna do it. You simply procrastinate on what's not really important at this moment. Maybe you'll do it later, maybe you won't do it at all. Doesn't matter really, until you get the vital things done. You can treat the extra stuff as a bonus. If you don't finish it today, you don't have to think that you underachieved. You simply didn't go for that bonus, and that's totally okay. And another important method is delegating your tasks. Unfortunately, it's not mentioned as often as prioritization, but it's damn good and exciting, I'd even say. You don't have to be LeBron James or Elon Musk to delegate stuff. You've got your strengths for sure, but you don't have to do it all alone. And the fact is, if you delegate right, you'll achieve so much more. You free up time, focus on what you're good at, and suddenly, life feels less like a circus. Of course, sometimes you need your hands in the mix, and not everything is a hot potato you can pass, but I still believe that most people underestimate the amount of things they can delegate. When you're feeling overwhelmed and unmotivated, and others are as good or even better equipped to handle a task, that's a perfect time to delegate. Let's talk about real-life examples. What can you delegate? Household chores, cleaning, laundry, grocery shopping, maybe meal prep, home maintenance like repairs and maintenance tasks, troubleshooting technical issues, pet care, walking dogs or pet sitting, research and information gathering. Now a good question is, who can do it instead of you? You might ask your friends, family members, friends of friends, or search for services in the internet and find something that will save you time but won't cost too much. Our community is growing and I'd love you to be a part of it. Subscribe and join the conversation. I truly hope this video is helpful and definitely have a good day.